afternoon, and welcome to the 41st Annual YWCA Leader Luncheon Women of Achievement Awards. I'm Gina Caruana, and I am Head of Retail Banking at Illinois Bank & Trust. Illinois Bank & Trust is committed to the Rockford community because we have been rooted in this community for 25 years. We believe in enriching lives one customer, employee, and community at a time, which is why I'm proud to present this year's event and provide critical support to an organization that's served women and families in the state line since 1891. YWCA Northwestern Illinois stands up for social justice and strives to create opportunities for economic empowerment for all people. YWCA has been at the forefront of the most pressing social movements for 130 years. From voting rights to civil rights, from affordable housing to pay equity, from violence prevention to healthcare reform. The past year has taught us just how vital the YWCA is. Like many businesses, the pandemic has required them to operate with fewer resources while serving more people. Much of the assistance they've provided during COVID-19 was unfunded, but the work was needed. They remain a nimble, valued, and committed community resource, and today I am pleased to kick off the 2021 Women of Achievement Awards. At Illinois Bank & Trust, our leadership team understands the struggles that women and families face day to day, and especially through the pandemic. We have shown support to our employees in many ways, including the opportunity to work from home to tend to their families' needs and keep themselves and their loved ones safe. We are also dedicated to lifting the achievements of women in our area. The Women of Achievement Awards will once again honor 6 outstanding individuals in the categories of business, community leadership, mentorship, professions, promise, and racial justice. I want to congratulate all the nominees and applaud them for their contributions. On behalf of Illinois Bank & Trust, welcome and enjoy.
Thank you, Gina, and my thanks to Illinois Bank & Trust for the continued partnership and support. I'm Chris Makajewski, CEO of YWCA Northwestern Illinois, and I'd like to welcome you to the 41st Annual Leader Luncheon Women of Achievement Awards. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so pleased to host you and to celebrate the fantastic leadership in our community. It's difficult to fathom that just a year ago I was standing behind a podium in a ballroom addressing more than 900 community members and supporters as we celebrated 40 years of Leader Luncheon and the Women of Achievement Awards. Fast forward 14 months and we find ourselves in a sea of change where everything looks different, including Leader Luncheon. What hasn't changed from prior years, however, is the dedication and the power in this year's nominees for Women of Achievement Awards. They represent a diverse range of professions, age, career seasoning, but what they all have in common is a drive and a passion to empower others and make a positive impact. Whether or not you're an award recipient today, know that you are amazing, and I'm so thankful to have you working in our community. When we made the decision to move Leader Luncheon to a virtual platform, there was a little worry that our sponsors and donors wouldn't see the value and that we'd lose their support. I can't thank our generous sponsors and partners enough for stepping up and continuing their financial support in a year that has canceled so many of our fundraisers, while the needs of those that we serve soar. My deepest gratitude goes out to Vision sponsor, Illinois Bank & Trust. Their generosity made it possible for us to offer today's event free of charge to our guests. We're grateful for our benefactor sponsors, ComEd, Lechtenberg & Associates, OSF Healthcare, and PNC Bank, who sponsors today's beautiful awards. Many thanks to the leaders and workplace sponsors for their support. Thank you to today's mentor sponsors. And thank you to the advocate and champion sponsors. And now I would like to introduce a dear friend of mine and the chairwoman of the board of directors for YWCA Northwestern Illinois, Karen Brown.
Thank you, Chris. Here in Northwestern Illinois, the power of YWCA comes from the women and girls we serve, and it comes from our bold, passionate partners who are equally committed to the work of justice. Partners like you help us serve more than 12,000 of our neighbors. Partners like you help us fulfill our mission to change the power structures that determine the future. YWCA Northwestern Illinois is blessed with a strong executive leadership team that successfully navigates the needs of our community while embracing a strong business model that ensures the services provided by YWCA will be available for many years to come. We're also blessed with an engaged and committed board of directors, and I'd like to thank the women who sit alongside me on the YWCA board of directors. They contribute so much time and expertise, demonstrating a tireless dedication to the empowerment of all women and families. Ladies, please know that your commitment is appreciated. COVID-19 impacted the operations and services for the YWCA just as it did many other businesses. The board was extremely proud of the YWCA team for immediately adapting programming so that those depending on services and support from the YWCA could continue uninterrupted. Partner abuse intervention classes shifted to a virtual platform overnight, the only paid program in our area to do so. Child care referral resources moved into a statewide network, working to ensure frontline and essential workers could locate emergency child care so that they could continue in their jobs. Home visiting and child care center visits moved virtually, and child care subsidy continued to flow without interruption. And as much as the word pivot is overused today, it's appropriate here. YWCA Northwestern Illinois pivoted immediately in the face of crisis to make sure that those who most needed services didn't find themselves in crisis as well. In fact, YWCA Northwestern Illinois stepped up and facilitated more than $600,000 in COVID-19 relief funds to a variety of groups, including restaurant workers, child care providers, and immigrants. Much of this work was unfunded. Today, I'm asking you to join me in supporting the work of YWCA Northwestern Illinois in giving back to an organization that has given much to our community. You can donate right now using the Give Now button on your screen, by scanning the QR code in the bottom corner, or by texting Give to Empower to 44321. Thank you for spending this time with us today as we celebrate the female contributions to our community and lift up the mission of the YWCA in eliminating racism and empowering women.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you for your commitment to YWCA Northwestern Illinois. As Karen mentioned, the last year has brought about significant change in how we deliver services today, and until we determine what our next normal looks like. Technology has ensured that the 3,000 visitors we normally see walk into our facility on a monthly basis continue to meet with their caseworkers or their trainers virtually. The demands on this past year have brought about opportunities and successes that were bright spots for our organization. Through a Healing Illinois grant, we were able to expand racial justice workshops and train 400 area law enforcement officers from multiple agencies on implicit bias and cultural competency. We expanded services to McHenry County by opening a new Illinois Welcoming Center for immigrants and refugees who need help stabilizing their families and settling into their new country. We worked closely with child care centers and home child care settings to make sure they had the most current information, policies, and PPE so that they could continue serving as emergency child care providers. 4,000 children in Northwestern Illinois depend on child care subsidy so that they can access safe and healthy child care while their parents work or attend school full-time. This care feeds nearly $17 million in federal funds back into our local economy. This has been an incredible year, filled with tragedy, pain, and loss. But it's also been one that's brought about growth and resiliency. Today, let's celebrate the resilience with a celebration honoring female leaders in our community through the Women of Achievement Awards, just as we've done for the past 41 years. A pandemic cannot stop this, and we are so pleased to acknowledge the dedication and hard work of all of our nominees. Thank you to the volunteer judging panels that review these nominations. It's a time-consuming job, and we could not do it without them. It's our pleasure to now present the Women of Achievement Awards.
Hello, my name is George Gallerap. I'm the External Affairs Manager for Commonwealth Edison, a company who believes in diversity, inclusiveness, and equity. Today, we're proud to present the award to a woman in the business or non-for-profit sector who makes a significant contribution in their field. Today, this award is being given to a woman who is a servant leader and demonstrates extraordinary courage, resiliency, and integrity. Her nominator writes that she continues to focus on leading us on the path that supports our community, finds new ways to help students on their educational journey, and stays true to the values and cultural beliefs of the organization. Women comprise only 30% of the people in her role in her industry, making her a leader in empowering women. She simultaneously took on the challenge of a pandemic and a new position as president of Highland Community College, with great success. YWCA Northwestern Illinois is proud and honored to present the Business Award to Chris Kuberski.
Thank you, George. I am honored to be a recipient of the YWCA Women of Achievement Award. I am humbled and grateful that 3 amazing women that I work with thought that I was worthy of their nomination. So thank you, Leslie, Karen, and Liz. It means a great deal to me that you believe I'm an effective leader. I'd also like to thank my husband and my family for their continued support and encouragement. 6 years ago, when I was looking for a new opportunity within the Illinois Community College system, I was drawn to Highland and its emphasis on servant leadership. The heart of servant leadership, cultivating and nurturing others for the organization to excel, intertwines really well with my love of teaching and mentoring. As a leader, it energizes and encourages me to see others learn, grow, and thrive. Throughout my leadership journey, I have learned a great deal by observing and reflecting on how others lead. At times, I've learned what to do by watching very effective leaders. I've probably learned even more from watching those that were ineffective that I had the privilege of working with. I've attempted to take all of these lessons and meld them into my own leadership style. Essentially, I try to be the type of leader that I would want to follow. I believe that John Quincy Adams summed it up very nicely when he said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." As I continue to learn and grow on my leadership journey, it is my hope that I inspire others to lead as well. Thank you again for this honor.
Healthy Families America is one of the leading family support and evidence-based home visiting programs in the U.S., resulting in positive results across a spectrum of communities of varying geographic, cultural, and socioeconomic backgrounds. A safe, healthy, and positive childhood gives children the tools and confidence they need to become self-sufficient, successful adults. YWCA Healthy Families Home Visiting Program works with at-risk pregnant women and new parents who have indicators of past trauma that may lead to the abuse and neglect of their own children. YWCA Healthy Families teaches healthy parenting skills and prepares parents to bond with their children by providing techniques for sleeping, monitoring milestones, nutrition, and upbringing.
Hello, I'm Paula Kurinsky, President of OSF Healthcare, St. Anthony Medical Center. OSF Healthcare is committed to providing guidance to the next generation of leaders. One way we do this is through building sincere relationship with others while serving with the greatest care and love. And in doing so, we support events like the YWCA Leader Luncheon and salute those providing mentorship to women in our community. This award is presented to an individual who has taught, guided, and inspired women in ways that have changed their lives. The 2021 recipient oversees hundreds of employees and has instilled in her team the desire to continually improve in the name of serving the community. She has been a champion for those who have had no voice when it comes to equity, dignity, and justice. She has set the tone through leadership and empowering employees to feel their voices should be heard and speak up. I am pleased to present this year's Mentorship Award to Danielle Potter.
Thank you, Paula. And I want to thank the YWCA for being nominated for this, for empowering women as always. And I also want to thank the team members who thought enough of me as a mentor. One of the most important things that I carry with me every day in being a manager over staff is how I nurture them, how I lean into them, how I love on them. And when I say that, it's supporting their ideas. It's being transparent with what I expect, allowing them to share where they're at and what they do. Managing is about being able to coach and cultivate and work with different team members and to meet people where they're at. And those are the things that I've learned over the years. I haven't always been perfect at it, but I work on it every day. I know what it's like to not be supported. I know what it's like when you're fighting for something and people don't get it, don't understand where you're coming from. So I take that in everything that I do every day. And I hope as a supervisor, as a mentor, as a friend, I've been a basketball coach before, and as a coach to team members, that I allow them to be their authentic selves when they come to work every day. I support them, I'm transparent in what I expect, and I speak the truth always. Whether that's something that needs to be worked on or whether that's something that they're doing very well, I have learned to speak the truth always. Us women can be very powerful. I know that to be true. I lean on a lot of powerful women in my life, one being my mother and those that are around me. And we can use that power two different ways, I believe. We can use that to help others and we can use that to harm others. And one of the ways that I choose to use my power, and that's to always be helpful. Again, I want to thank the YWCA for this nomination. I want to thank my team members that I'm so grateful for. I mean, that's the best compliment you can get for your team members to nominate you. So I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. And every day, I'm gonna make a commitment to be the best manager, supervisor, friend, and mentor that I can be. That's how I choose to lead my life. So thank you.
The lack of childcare options became painfully clear as the pandemic overtook schools, workplaces, and childcare availability. YWCA Northwestern Illinois is the hub in Northwestern Illinois for childcare providers and working parents looking for childcare and assistance in paying for that care. In the last year, YWCA's Child Care Resource and Referral Program facilitated nearly $17 million in child care subsidies in a 4-county area, money that goes directly into our local economy. 4,000 local children and their families count on these subsidies as families strive for economic security and stability. Child care providers and parents could not do this alone. Without subsidies, technical assistance, supplies, and timely trainings, many area child care providers would not have had the resources to remain open and provide emergency care for frontline workers, leaving a gap in human services detrimental to the entire community, especially working women with children. YWCA plays a critical role in ensuring a gateway to high-quality childcare and helping childcare providers navigate ever-changing regulations and the needs of parents and children.
YWCA is invaluable to the providers and families in our region. During the pandemic, they guided the providers with resources in order to ensure emergency childcare for frontline and essential workers. This provided peace of mind to the families so that they could ensure that their children were in safe and structured environments.
Hello, my name is Gina Caruana, Senior Vice President of Consumer Banking at Illinois Bank and Trust. This award recognizes women in the fields of medicine, law, education, science, engineering, architecture, and other fields which require professional accreditation in order to perform work in that field. This year's recipient has spent decades researching how to eliminate healthcare disparities, culminating in a body of work that is helping create healthier communities. She is a well-published public health researcher with extensive experience in rural, women's, and mobile health. She co-chairs the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee and sits on the Anti-Racism Urgent Action Committee. Much of her work and education has been dedicated to the women and the underserved. This year's Professions Award goes to Dr. Manorama Kari.
Thank you, Gina. I would like to thank YWCA of Northwest Illinois for awarding me the 2021 YWCA Women of Achievement Award in the category of professions. Thank you to my colleagues, Dr. Lisa Jones and Carrie Hermanson from the University of Illinois College of Medicine, Rockford, for nominating me. I have spent the last 2 decades of my life working to improve the health of underserved and rural communities. My research involves motivating and empowering women to make small lifestyle changes that can positively impact their health. I strongly believe that empowering women to make change not only improves their health, but the health of their families and communities. I grew up in India and come from a family of strong women. My parents taught me early on the importance of hard work, perseverance, and giving back to your community. I'm a first-generation immigrant who came to this country over 30 years ago as a young student, wanting to advance my education and make a difference in the world. My work in underserved communities, both here and in India, is a way to give back to the communities who have made me the person I am today. I am grateful to UIC, where I have built my career, for the support they have provided me for over 25 years. Last but not the least, I could not do this work without the support of my family, the communities who have let me work with them, contributions of my colleagues, and the guidance from my mentors. Thank you very much for this honor. I am truly humbled and appreciative of it.
YWCA Northwestern Illinois Family Advocacy Center supports families in crisis. The program is designed to service families who have multiple risk factors such as poverty, substance abuse, domestic violence, unmet health needs, language barriers, and isolation due to cultural barriers. This initiative is designed to assist families who have had contact with Department of Children and Family Services. YWCA enables families working to become stable to keep or regain their children. The YWCA acts as an advocate for parents and provides services such as parent education, case management, counseling referrals, and alumni program.
Hi, I'm Penny Lechtenberg, principal and owner of Lechtenberg & Associates, a boutique law firm providing employment law and immigration law services to individuals and businesses throughout the U.S. and the world. I strongly support the YWCA mission and believe in serving as an example of a businesswoman who has sought out leadership roles and spent my career encouraging professional growth in others as I made my own way to business ownership. This YWCA Leadership Luncheon event typically coincides with the anniversary of the start of my business in March of 2016. We are now beginning our 6th year and going strong. I've always liked the concept of the Promise Award and have been happy to sponsor it each of these past 6 years. This award is given to a young woman with professional success and community involvement to indicate potential for extraordinary leadership and service. This year's recipient works passionately promoting conversations, understanding, and facilitating learning for restorative justice and racial healing in our community. In the words of her nominator, she lifts everyone around her, never missing an opportunity to recognize others' contributions. Her work has been dedicated to the advancement of Rockford business, including minority and women-owned businesses, and the enhancement of economic success in our community. I am pleased to present this year's Promise Award to Martisha Brown.
Thank you so much, Penny. I also want to thank the YWCA for acknowledging me in this way. I really appreciate the work that the YWCA does in this community, and so it means so much to be honored by this organization. I also want to thank my mom, Michelle Brown, my sister, Markeisha Brown, and my grandmother, Joanne Thomas, for showing me what it means to be a strong Black woman who can achieve anything their heart desires. I know that the opportunity to give back to this community is truly just that, an opportunity provided by God. And I thank Him so much for giving me the opportunity to serve, and I will continue to do everything I can to empower women, to ensure equity and justice, and to give back to this community in a way that will be transformational. Thank you guys so much for this encouragement and this honor.
Recognizing a lack of resources for the restaurant and food service industry, YWCA secured funds to develop the Restaurant Workers Relief Fund in December of 2020. Through funds from Coca-Cola and United Way of Rock River Valley, YWCA distributed $86,000 in less than 6 weeks to workers from the hospitality industry.
So COVID-19 blindsided us back in March. The restaurant industry is the second largest industry as far as employees, only second to the government. And we immediately had to lay off most of our staff. We found out really fast. Filing for unemployment in the state of Illinois was a nightmare. It took weeks, if not months, to get responses. Several of them were not eligible for unemployment. We're not going to see any stimulus money from the government. The YWCA stepped up very graciously. They quickly got debit cards in our staff members' hands, but they could use to buy groceries, diapers, get their son or daughter a birthday present or a Christmas gift. And a wonderful charity like the YWCA was a massive, massive help to us, and we're forever grateful for them.
Hello, I'm Nicole Radford, Director of Laboratory Services at Swedish American Health System and a member of the Board of Directors at the YWCA Northwestern, Illinois. I want to congratulate all of the nominees. You're an enviable group of women that lead by example. This Community Leadership Award is presented to women who are professionals and volunteers in government, public service, politics, and community action. The 2021 recipient has dedicated her life to survivors of sexual assault of all ages, genders, races, and abilities. She has been an advocate for these survivors directly and through policymaking and collaborative community building. She has served thousands throughout her career and continues to affect change in our region. I am honored to present this year's Community Leadership Award to Maureen Mustachi.
Well, thank you, Nicole. I'd like to thank the YWCA, the nominators, and the selection committee for this honor. And it truly is an honor to be here today. When I think about my career, I was surrounded by a lot of people that really gave me some examples of leadership and collaboration and how to work together. And it was from those early beginnings that I kind of developed my own path forward. I have some strong beliefs, and I think that persistence and working hard to get other people kind of understand. I think it's important. I was empowered by a lot of strong women, and I think it's important that we continue, as women, to encourage each other and to mentor each other into the leadership positions, and that we can make some changes, and that we can have a stronger individuals and a stronger community. So once again, thank you.
Since 2013, YWCA Northwestern Illinois has facilitated dialogue between law enforcement and communities of color to build mutual awareness and understanding. YWCA's approach to racial justice strives to transform communities, systems, and public policies. These programs help to unlearn racism and promote equity, to understand implicit bias, and to develop evidence-based training that successfully reduces discriminatory behaviors at the individual level.
In late 2020, through a Healing Illinois funding opportunity, the YWCA expanded its implicit bias and cultural competency training to all law enforcement and non-sworn personnel at the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office and several other area municipalities. It is important to understand that bias isn't only tuned to race or ethnicity, but includes a number of other marginalized communities. We already require training for ethics, conflict resolution, and de-escalation tactics. The training provided by the YWCA elevates the importance of cross-cultural communications and better prepares our team to serve all citizens of Winnebago County.
Good afternoon. My name is Paulina Siacombe, and I'm the Market Executive for PNC Bank Rockford. On behalf of my colleagues at PNC, we are honored to once again be the presenting sponsor for the Racial Justice Award. At PNC, we value the important work of promoting racial justice and equity for all in our great community. This award is given to an honoree that demonstrates a commitment to racial equality and the advocacy of fundamental rights for all races. This year's recipient engages actively in activism, all in the effort of building an equitable society. She helped to create a program called Promoting an Inclusive Community to address issues on the Rock Valley College campus. Her work mirrors the mission of the YWCA, whether it be an academic, spiritual, or community setting. Empowering women and eliminating racism are part of her mantra. I am honored to present this year's Racial Justice Award to Paulette Gilbert.
Thank you, Paulina, for that wonderful introduction. I am overwhelmed with joy at receiving this award. I have so many people to thank because I've never accomplished anything by myself. None of this is possible without the support and the help of others. But first, I'd like to acknowledge the indigenous peoples whose stewardship of this land makes it possible for us to be here today and to have this opportunity. I commit once again to supporting them in their struggle for justice and for peace. I'd like to thank the YWCA for putting on this luncheon. I know it has been difficult during times of COVID, but they have done a beautiful job. Today, though, I want to thank especially the members of AAUW for nominating me, and to Judy Schultz in particular for taking the time to fill out the application. It is no easy, breezy job. I seldom think about my work as a totality. I think about taking advantage of each opportunity as it presents itself to me to do what I can to promote justice and to increase diversity and equity and inclusivity in the most meaningful sorts of ways at every opportunity. I think I've always been guided by my parents' example. They were first and they were barrier breakers, and they encouraged us to act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with God. And finally, I need to thank my family because they've supported me in all of this work. And my friends, especially those at Rock Valley College on the PACE committee, and my sisters in Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, all of whom prop me up, encourage me when I'm feeling a bit of doubt and down, and who keep me going forward in this work. So please find your voice and act with courage and dignity and with the lives of others in mind. Act on behalf of Black and brown bodies, Asian bodies, women, indigenous people, all of us who are at this point in time facing such attacks on our voting rights and such unrelenting violence. We need for all voices to be heard, for everyone to speak up. I thank you so much for this honor. I am privileged by it. It is challenging and humbling, and it means that I have to keep moving forward to do the work that I think God has given me to do and is a part of my purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today, and our deepest gratitude goes out to our sponsors, especially our vision sponsor, Illinois Bank and Trust. After hearing our message today, I hope you'll join us in this work by becoming a YWCA member. You'll be joining a global movement to empower women, girls, and people of color to be equal, powerful, and unstoppable. You'll be supporting the 12,000 women, children, and families who seek services each month right here in our community. Or if you'd rather simply make a donation to support these impactful services, you can donate right now using the Give Now button on your screen, by scanning the QR code in the bottom corner, or by texting Give to Empower to 44321.
So let's join forces and keep our collective commitment to justice in our community strong. Let's do the work until injustice is rooted out, until institutions are transformed, until the world sees women, girls, and people of color the way we do: equal, powerful, unstoppable. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you at the 42nd Annual Leader Luncheon in 2022. Have a great afternoon.